Good morning, everyone. Am I audible and visible? Yes, shall I start? Yes. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second session of today's debate tournament, the Hague Debate Tournament Inter-University edition and preliminary round. My name is Bao, and I'm going to be the host for today's second debate. And joining me is Miss Batira, who is going to be our timekeeper, and she will notify the teams when there is 20 seconds left each and when the time has stopped. And Mr. Francisco is live streaming this debate on YouTube on our YouTube channel, and please make sure to subscribe for more content. And the debate tournament, the debate match today is between the University of Poitiers from France and Dom Helder Law School from Brazil. And the topic for the debate today is the use of animals for entertainment must be banned. And the judges for today are Mrs. Romania Lamishka, Mr. Korea, and Mrs. Highland. And before we can start, I would like to notify the teams that please turn off all your electronic devices except for the device that you are using for the debate, and also turn off all notification and apps, and turn on your camera only when you're speaking. And Ms. Batira will show you when the time is left and time has stopped, and please conform to the rule. And lastly, I would like to thank members of the organizing committees, Charlotte, Michaela, Maruna, Marie, Noelia, Sophia, and Lorianne for helping us to organize the debate today. And now I would like to choose the team that will start first. The team with the pros will make the first speech. And please allow me 1 minute to the randomizer. Yes. I'm sorry for the delay. There is a bit of a technical issues on my side. Yes, I would like to share my screen right now, and thank you for waiting. I apologize for the delay. Um, and The University of Poitiers will be the pro team, and the University of the Domhelder Law School will be the cons team. And now will be 5 minutes for both teams to organize yourself and to prepare for the debate. Thank you. And Ms. Vatira will keep track of the time. There's 1 minute left for the team. Thank you, Mr. Yes, thank you, Ms. Vitera. Now the preparation time is up, and the match shall start. I would like to introduce the first speaker from the University of Poitiers to make the opening speech.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so I'll start now. Honorable judges, distinguished colleagues, my name is Leona, and along with my colleagues Tsira and Josepha, we strongly believe that all forms of entertainment that exploit animals should be banned. Our first argument is that we cannot recognize animal sentience and keep exploiting animals for our own entertainment, whether it be in circuses, aquariums, zoos. It's simply not compatible. How could we acknowledge that animals can suffer and then let them endure the abuse that they go through to learn some tricks only for a few laughs? They may not have the intelligence of humans, but they are sensible beings. They are sentient, which means that they have the ability to feel, to perceive, and they are conscious. Like us, animals feel fear, stress, exhaustion, and most importantly, pain. In 2009, the Lisbon Treaty amended the Treaty on the Functioning of the European Union and recognized that animals are sentient beings in Article 13 of Title 2, which means countries are no strangers to this concept, and especially considering that most countries in the European Union nationally recognize animal sentience. And yet, in those same countries, the use of animals for entertainment is not banned. We also believe that using animals for entertainment purposes is incompatible with the 5 freedoms recognized in European instruments, and more particularly in the Universal Declaration on Animal Welfare, which is a proposed intergovernmental agreement to recognize that animals are sentient and aims to prevent cruelty and reduce their suffering. Those 5 freedoms are the following: freedom from hunger and thirst, freedom from discomfort, freedom from pain, injury, and disease, freedom to express normal behavior, freedom from fear and distress. Now, why do these entertainment shows even exist? To make money. And animals endure abuse and violence for profit. And this aspect of entertainment, in our opinion, cannot be disregarded. Because yes, in most cases, what we don't know is the tricks animals perform for us in circuses or in zoos, they have learned by being abused. And this very fact goes against the 5 freedoms that I've just mentioned, because being exposed in overly public environments such as zoos or circuses, or any form of entertainment shows for that matter, they are necessarily in discomfort, exposed to fear and distress, and also stopped from expressing their normal behavior. Now, how have they learned these incredible tricks? This isn't natural for them, so the trainers resort to a punishment-based training. Small elephants are chained for up to 23 hours a day to break their spirits. Electric pods and tasers are used to force animals into submission. So you can see this firmly goes against the freedom from pain and injury, but it also goes against the freedom from hunger and thirst, because another common method of training is starvation. Animals are deliberately starved and rewarded with food when they perform the task asked of them, and this develops a link in their brain that associates obedience with food and therefore encourages them to be submissive. Now, animals do not exist for our entertainment. We cannot let them be abused for the sake of our entertainment any longer. And from a legal aspect, we are required to take it a step further and extend animal protection by banning the use of animals for entertainment. Thank you.
Thank you, the University of Poitiers. Now to invite people to make his own speech. Thank you.
Just to be sure before the timer starts, am I audible and visible? Thank you. So good evening, Your Excellency.
Yes.
Sorry? May I start?
Yes, please.
Okay. So good evening, Your Excellencies, counterpart colleagues. My name is Augusto Jesus, and along with my colleagues Bernardo Leal and Matheus Mendonca, I will defend that the use of animals for entertainment must not be banned. The fundamental premise on which we base our arguments is that entertaining animal use cannot be labeled as unlawful. Zoos, equestrianism, aquatic parks, sanctuaries, each of these practices are widely accepted by international law and should be taken as a general permission by states throughout the years. Our point of view is divided in three main arguments. First, the possibility of balancing animal rights and entertainment. Second, the need to dissociate animal suffering and entertainment. And third, the necessity of not overlooking cultural practices. Following these reasoning, first, it must be understood that entertainment has many perspectives and does not entail animal suffering. The creation of protected areas for animal welfare in the fight against extinction and in the preservation of species is becoming a frequent practice in the world, while at the same time, it is promoted animal entertainment and ecotourism with a total securement of international standards regarding animal rights. In fact, this kind of entertainment generates resources which can be themselves extremely beneficial to the conservation of species and to the promotion of the importance of animal dignity. Animal sanctuaries are widely encouraged worldwide and demonstrate the compatibility between the protection of animals and a more ecological entertainment. We must certainly abandon practices which profit from cruelty to animals, but in most cases, entertainment actually provides animal protection. Therefore, we sustain that a ban on these recreational activities compromises the benefits to animals themselves from this amusing interaction with humans. As our second point, we underpin there is an urgent need to dissociate animal suffering and entertainment. International standards provided by international organizations, such as the World Society for Animal Welfare, UNESCO, and the European Union, are not concerned specifically with entertainment, but rather with animal mistreatment itself. We can find malpractice on every field which involves human activities, including human rights, but associations made in advance between entertainment and the violation to animal rights are certainly unfounded. It must be stated that the relationship between animals and mankind is an organic one, since, for example, marriage between animals and people is allowed in some countries, and most importantly, most European conventions regarding animal rights accept their application to entertainment. Furthermore, as our third point, sports practices with animals should not be forbidden if they are a part of a cultural manifestation. Yet, the connection of humanity with animals and its contemporary legal status as sentient beings has raised questions about cultural performances. However, these practices may be considered as intangible assets under international law, which form a part of the world cultural heritage that must be regulated by specific law which ensures the welfare of the animals involved, since cruelty and entertainment are diverse concepts which cannot be wrongly related. Based on the foregoing, we reinforce that a ban on animal entertainment is not an adequate measure. Thank you.
Thank you, Dom Helder Law School, for the opening speech. Now I would like to welcome University of Poitiers for the first argument.
Hello, everyone. I would like to confirm that I'm audible and visible.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Honorable distinguished colleagues, my name is Tsira, and along with my fellow colleagues, Leona and Josepha, I will be defending the position that the use of animals for entertainment must be banned. I would like to thank the previous speaker for their arguments and react to what has been said by them. Firstly, ecotourism has been mentioned today, and I would like to say that ecotourism can indeed be beneficial for economically for the state. However, they often make the animals that are involved in ecotourism very uncomfortable. For example, camel rides and elephant rides that rely basically on abusing these animals and exposing them to a lot of stress by exposing them to a lot of human contact during the day. Moreover, indeed, animals and humans are bonded and have been sharing a bond for ages. However, this bond has never been used for entertainment. It was purely a symbiotic relationship between humans and animals. Therefore, this argument cannot be used to defend the position today. And we do not intend to impose ourselves on cultures and recognize that this that we're having today is very different. It cannot be mixed in the discussion about cultures. I want to reaffirm that the use of animals for entertainment boils down to training them into submission. These animals do not exist for entertainment. Every behavior that humans find amusing or funny has to be taught to these animals, which is impossible without harsh training and abuse that they endure in order to train them into submission. Along with the fact that animals used in entertainment from their natural habitat and they're forced to live in small enclosures, often in subpar conditions, they are also subjected to abuse on a daily basis. Mental manipulation, starvation, physical abuse, etc. This is the reality for these animals, and they go through all of this just to perform for 15 minutes that will be forgotten by the humans that enjoy the show. However, the trauma that they endure stay with them for their whole life. This is why we seek to prevent this from happening, and we reaffirm that all this behavior goes directly against the 5 freedoms that my colleague mentioned earlier. Most notably, the freedom from hunger and thirst and freedom from pain, fear.
I apologize, I have to interrupt you.
Thank you. I was done anyways. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I would like Dom Helder School with first side.
And just to be sure, am I clearly visible and audible? Thank you. First, we congratulate our colleagues on the counterpart for the presentation of arguments, but we would firmly like to disagree. Undoubtedly, the idea that animals used by people should not be treated like objects, but should be protected from actions that might cause suffering is a very widespread belief in society. And within that specific frame, we do not depart ourselves as opposite teams in our statements. Nevertheless, we emphasize that entertainment with animals must not be mistaken with the violation of animal rights. As it regards a specific international regulation, the European Union's Zoos Directive seeks to promote the protection and conservation of wild natural species by strengthening the role of zoos in the conservation of biodiversity. In that sense, entertainment with animals can and should be used as an instrument for enhancing environmental friendly practices, highlighting the importance of the guarantee of animal rights. It also should be noted that the European Union policy on animal welfare, for example, is primarily focused on the conservation of wildlife. Animal entertainment is not even mentioned by its terms. Furthermore, the European Union Council has adopted a position on the importance of keeping and protecting menaced animal species outside their natural habitats for biodiversity conservation purposes, as in the cases of aquarium exhibits. These understandings, once again, reinforce the clear possibility to combine human entertainment and the safeguard of animal rights. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now I would like to invite the second speaker from the University of Poitiers for the argument. Thank you.
Hello again. Am I visible and audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. I will begin. Thank you to the opposite team for their interesting argument. I would like to react to that now. It is good that the opposite team recognizes that the entertainment industry of animals should not involve animal rights violations and the abuse. However, we recognize that as of today, the vast majority of this entertainment industry relies on pain and the suffering of these animals. For example, the most clear example of this is SeaWorld in America, which abducts marine animals from their natural habitat and encloses them in very small spaces that is impossible to live in. And they, at their hands, countless orcas and countless sharks have died. And the abuse continues today. They currently own 21 dolphins and orcas that continue to die at a very alarming rate. And I would like to reaffirm that it is important to notice the key difference between human performers and animals is the ability to give consent. Animals cannot consent to performing in these entertainment shows, and they cannot voice their pain and contempt, which directly obligates us as humans, intelligent beings that can voice their contempt with something, to protect their rights and protect them from the abuse that they have to endure. It is our direct moral obligation and goes directly against ethical norms that they have to live in these conditions and have to endure so much pain just for the sake of entertainment of humans. Thank you again. I would like to yield my time to my third speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, University of Poitiers. I would like to invite Dom Helder Law School for your.
Thank you very much. Well, we do understand the importance of what is being pointed by the counterpart. However, once again, we reinforce that entertainment has many perspectives. Evidently, it is our place to defend in this debate that cruel practices with animal harm are not a legitimate kind of entertainment and should not be upheld. Following this reasoning, both domestic and international law permit the use of animals in entertainment events, understanding that they do not include animal suffering. It is also fundamental to note that sanctuaries and areas of protection and recovery of natural species, spaces where eco-entertainment is totally possible, require a state and voluntary funding which is often less than the cost for maintaining. In this sense, we must not forget the economic consequences that come with the plain denial of using animal entertainment resources for preserving endangered species. In addition, the contact of humankind with animals in these recreational environments encourages animal affection and the consequent motivation to protect them. Moreover, domesticated animals and sportive practices are forms of entertainment that conform a part of the natural relationship between people and animals. If entertainment with animals were to be banned, the possession of pets, equestrianism, and vaulting would be inconveniently prohibited. As it regards culture, although some manifestations have overcome animal use, as it has occurred with bullfighting regulation in Portugal and Spain, there is still an essential part of other cultures that must be assessed if it affects animal welfare. Not because it is inherently a form of entertainment, but because there is a strong concern with malpractice and mistreatment. Thus, it is absolutely possible to find a balance between animal welfare and the involvement of animals in amusement events. Thank you.
Thank you, Dom Helder Law School. Now I would like to invite the third speaker from the University of Poitiers for the third argument. Thank you.
Am I audible? Okay. I want to say that I'm glad that the opposite team mentioned the economic consequences. I want to remind us that the practices such as bear baiting or dog and cockfight exists. These animals are suffering and dying for just people to enjoy watch it. As my colleagues explained it, animals feel pain, and these fights to the death consists in watching animal agonizing. The major difficulty is that there is a financial traffic behind these shows. People bet on animal death. This is an unhealthy way to consider the relationship between animals and humans. And this is what leads to conclusion. The real question is not, is the use of animal for entertainment should be banned, but how? Because because human beings cannot use animals as toys, as attractions, because they can't speak. As my colleagues already explained, international organizations recognize animals' 5 freedoms that I want us to keep in mind. Freedom from hunger and thirst, freedom from discomfort, freedom from pain, injury, and disease, and freedom to express normal behavior, and freedom from fear and distress. But reality shows that animals are abused just for spectacle. We can use them in entertainment. We can't use them for entertainment because they can't consent. Exploiting animals make financial profits, but the drawbacks are so much heavier. Thank you.
Thank you, University of Poitiers, for your argument. Now I would like to invite the third speaker from Dom Helder Law School for your argument. Thank you.
Just checking, am I visible and audible? Yeah. In conclusion, we stress that the use of animals for entertainment must not be banned. It is essential to point out that although it is possible to raise issues regarding the violation of principles and norms of international law, the discussion regarding the use of animals for entertainment must be diverted to the banning of malpractices and mistreatment to animals in other domains previously cited. The observance of a change of legal status of animals into sentient beings throughout the years in domestic jurisdictions proves that the international community has been willing to confer a special treatment to animals to reinforce their conservation as a part of the environment. Certainly, countries recognize that the dignity of mankind cannot be dissociated from the respect people owe to the environment and to animals which inhabited it. Within this context, the fact that there is a moral responsibility to make proper provision for the care and welfare of animals does not entail a prohibition of entertainment between people and animals. On the contrary, as the EU policy on animal welfare has demonstrated, keeping and protecting wild animal species outside their natural habitat have become a vital instrument for biodiversity conservation. Our coexistence implicates in an ecological relation, which demonstrates not only that a balance can be found, but that it must also be encouraged as an elemental interaction. Finally, the use of animals in cultural practices is a social expression that includes knowledge, beliefs, art, morals, law, and most importantly, happiness. Hence, there are lots of domains of entertainment to be upheld and encouraged. Thank you.
Thank you, Dom Helder Law School. And that concludes the debate today on the topic of animal rights. And I would like to thank both teams for your excellent performance. And now I would like to give the floor to one of our judges to give feedback to the team. Mr. Correa, would you like to give feedback to both teams now?
Hello, good afternoon here in the Netherlands. I'm not sure what the time is in Brazil, but thank you very much for your participation today. I thought you guys did a very good job. I was really impressed by both teams. I was impressed by the argumentation, and I was impressed on how prepared you were. So congratulations, and I think you've done very well. So I do want to give my feedback, watch it again on YouTube to give my more detailed feedback in the written form, but just very quickly, when we're doing debates, I think one of the things that's very helpful when you start your debate is that you want to outline what your position is going to be. So if you're the pro or negative, you make that clear. I think you all did that very well. But one thing you can be improved on is kind of before you start going into your argumentation, it's a really good idea to outline your arguments first. So in a debate, you should always have at least 2 to 4 arguments. And at the very start, you should outline these arguments. You should say, well, my position is going to be based on 4 arguments. The first one is going to be this, the second, third, fourth. So then the listener knows exactly what to listen for when you start going into your argumentation. That's also one thing. Another thing that I noticed when it came to the rebuttal, a lot of you kind of had your rebuttal planned already, I thought, and you weren't directly referencing what the other side has said. I noticed that there was some arguments from both sides that could easily be rebutted. They could have been very compelling arguments that you could have made, but you didn't directly address them. Sometimes you did. I just give one example. I know that one team brought up EU law, the Lisbon Treaty, and then the other side brought that up and said, well, that doesn't actually apply to animal entertainment. And that's a great example of the other side picking up on what the other team is saying and then directly referencing it and countering it. But I felt there was more opportunities for students to do that. So with rebuttal, it's always important to kind of prepare beforehand and try to anticipate, but also you got to listen very carefully and try to rebut what they're saying directly. And just ways that you can do rebuttal. With every argument, you can argue that their argument is legally flawed, factually flawed, logically flawed, or morally flawed. So try to make reference to the weaknesses in their arguments in reference to those 4 things. And I think that will really strengthen your rebuttal skills. But yes, like I said, I'm going to watch it again tomorrow morning and make more detailed notes because it was going pretty fast. Everyone was doing the arguments really quickly. So, but again, congratulations. I thought you guys did an excellent job.
Thank you, Mr. Correa, for your feedback. Very valuable feedback. And once again, I would like to thank all teams for your participation. Thank you to all judges for judging this debate. And thank you to the audience for tuning in and watching the live session on YouTube. And this session is recorded and you can rewatch it on YouTube again. And thank you for today. And goodbye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.